Make sure you like this video as you are coming in. Make sure you like this video. Okay, I am back to do a birthday reading for, I was about to say Braxton Family Values, but this will be Toni Braxton, Tamar Braxton, TRACI Braxton, TRINA Braxton, and Towanda Braxton. My favorite Braxtons in order is Toni Braxton, Tamar Braxton. I think it used to be TRINA Braxton, and then TRACI Braxton. They was always kind of equal. And then Towanda would be last. Oh, honey, we doing Miss EVELYN Braxton too. And it looked like her birthday is very close to my mother's, so I already know what we're dealing with. Let's just put it like that. Okay? Yeah, Miss Capricorn, honey. Miss Capricorn. Yes. Get into it. Okay, so we're going to get started with my favorite, Toni Braxton. She's a Libra. She was born on October 7th, 1967. Okay? So she is a Libra. And let's kind of look at the personality traits of a Libra. So her good traits are, as a Libra, she's sociable, charming, fair, romantic, sophisticated, artistic, and rational. Her not so great characteristics as a Libra: indecisive, impatient, codependent, fearful, insensitive, manipulative, self-indulgent. Okay? So those are her characteristics as far as being a Libra. Her strengths are: she is committed, idealistic, and charming. Her weaknesses: troubled, unrealistic, and isolated. And that last weakness is something that I've been hearing a lot from the reviews of the show that people have been doing on YouTube. People have a tendency to say that Toni is always like using her illness to like be away from the family. But then on the other hand, she has lupus, and I could only imagine, dealing with something like that. I heard that it's, very difficult, and you don't have the energy. And, Toni needs to lead a soft life. She's never going to do that with this family dynamic, especially with that controlling ass mother, Miss Capricorn. So, yeah. Her being separated from the family, it does not bother me, but I think some people feel like it's inauthentic. Because it's just like, yeah, but you keep using your illness as an excuse to be away. Oh, I was going to get on the plane to go visit little Kevin, but my illness, and I just came back from traveling. And a lot of people are clocking that as she's not close to him like that. And the whole family is pretty much playing a role, to get a check, right? And they are using TRACI's death in vain, just to secure this check, right? And Toni is not really like in the scenes like that, neither is Tamar. Now, that's interesting because to me, that would mean, in my bird's eye view, that would mean that those are the two that probably are least likely to need this check. I'm getting that Towanda, TRINA, both of them, I believe, have filed for bankruptcy. And then, the mother, so, and did I see my girl Marla Gibbs on one of the episodes hanging out with Miss E? That was so cute. I love Marla Gibbs. Like, she is so underrated, for her comedic timing. Like, Marla is everything. My favorite episode of Martin was when she was on there. The Housekeeper from Hell episode. Check that out. Let's get back to Toni. I'm all over the place, right? So it's the Day of Defiance, October 7th. The advice the book gives to her Deal with authority problems, improving your relationship with your parents, okay? Be more trusting of those who merit your trust. Stick up for yourself. Don't be a football, okay? On the other hand, keep your rebelliousness under control. Balance is the key. So it's saying she's rebellious, goes against the grain. She has a Capricorn mom. I had a Capricorn mom, and they're very like controlling. They are very domineering. They want, you to fulfill their wishes and do what they want you to do and make them look good. Okay. Capricorn is all about status and accomplishment, success, how things look on the outside, right? So it says those born on October 7th have a strongly rebellious streak, which surfaces sooner or later in their lives. Just right out, this first sentence takes me to, she grew up in a very religious household where they went to church all the time. And I remember watching one of the documentaries they had on her life where she talked about, they were in church, this, that, and the third, but she was secretly listening to people like Rick James and Anita Baker and, just all these other artists, right? So, from day one, she had it in her to go against the grain. And I feel like that is probably the reason she was chosen out of all the sisters. She is the most talented of all the sisters. To me, she is the most comfortable on stage. Okay? So yes, Tamar has a very beautiful voice. It's rich. It's top tier. It just seems like Tamar can sing very effortlessly, she hits all her notes. She lacks stage presence though. She does not have TONI's comfortability, if that makes any sense, on stage, right? So and you have to have the it factor when being in the music business, being an actress. You just got to be ready to go. They're going with the people that are ready to go, not, oh, you need some work in these areas. You know what I'm saying? You got to be the whole package. And then TONI is not a bad looking woman either, right? Those born on this day are strongly convinced of their own belief system, which more often than not is in direct conflict with the mores of society or in which they live. Their need to protest is often accompanied by a wish to change things positively as they see it. Consequently, they often seek to attain a commanding position, giving them the authority to effect such changes. Those born on this day are, in fact, rarely ambitious for personal reasons, but rather want to acquire power to further their social ideals. The critical nature of October 7th people being against anti-protesting, etc. is not always immediately evident on first meeting due to their often charming manner. They may seem to be living at the center of their own personal drama. However, in a short time, their piercing and insightful views become apparent. Usually, they do not mince words on any subject, saying straight out what they think, but often with a large dose of humor and some degree of tact. They have very good insight into the workings of the human mind and therefore quickly size up the personal psychology of the individual they are dealing with at any given moment. Most often, those born on this day do not waste time trying to legitimize their behavior, but simply go ahead and act as they see most appropriate. October 7th people are very strong-minded. Problems can arise when those born on this day become a part of an organization. Though the group may in general embody their ideals they themselves support, October 7th people must nonetheless define the role they must play within that organization, as their own principles and politics can be in a process of evolution. Questions concerning leadership, cooperation, and loyalty can become quite pressing concerns. That takes me to, this family dynamic. How many times have we heard TONI stand out and say, it was my talent, that is the family's business. You all singing backup for me. It was through me you all were able to secure some type of deal. Because remember, the three sisters came out and did an album, and they did it, without TRACI. I guess this was around the time she ended up getting pregnant. And we'll get more into all of that when we get to TRACI's birthday. But yeah, you always hear TONI, if you go back and watch the seasons in the past, she would say things like, I just feel like, I can't be my own person, my own self, my own artist. So this is somebody that always felt the need to separate themselves from the family because she has different ideals as far as how she wants to live life, the type of performer and music that she wants to create. Another conflict in the October 7th character is between moral and immoral behavior. Those born on this day are not amoral people. For when they sin, they usually do so with a full sense of what they are doing. So that means when she do something wrong, she know why she doing it, and she don't really ask too many questions. But in their world of changing mores, they may not always have a firm idea of what they themselves consider wrong and right. Therefore, they must avoid glorifying their rebelliousness while condemning those who uphold the status quo, as they may come in to better understand the other side's point of view at a later date. Another thing that was very rebellious, because that seems to be, the word that stands out when describing Toni Braxton in this birthday reading, is her being with Birdman. They never fit, and to me, I don't know. It seemed like she was marrying him because he was always like there. I think he probably really genuinely liked her and cared for her, but I just never felt like they should have been a thing, because I just felt like I never saw them married. I never saw the real commitment with them. He lives a completely different life, right? So yeah, that was TONI once again kind of going against the grain. She has her kids by the guy from Mint Condition, Carrie. Her one son, Denim, is handsome as hell. I just saw Denim on that past episode, and I was like, honey, he's a model too. So he is gorgeous. I remember him from her show that she had. I think she had something on VH1. And she was preparing for some type of play or something, and she was pregnant, I think, with her second baby or something. But Denim was a baby at the time. I think he was like a toddler. October 7th people may well say they only wish to be left alone, yet as solitary as they see themselves and perhaps wish to be, their fate seems to be thrown in again and again with their fellow human beings. So she says she wants to be alone, but always finds herself around people. But because they are often considered mavericks by others, they may be unfairly excluded by the more conventional in society. Therefore, those born on this day must try to broaden their base of social contact by actively seeking out not only those whom they respect, but also those with whom they share warmth and intimacy. Okay, let's get to her numbers and planets. Okay, so those born on the 7th day of the month are ruled by the number 7 and the watery planet Neptune. Because Neptune rules visions, dreams, and psychic phenomena, October 7th, people are prone to these unstable influences combined with Venusian energy. Neptunian tendencies can make October 7th people magnetic, but also highly impressionable and possibly a bit out of touch with reality. That takes me to one of the reviews I seen on TONI, where the person kept saying she seems a bit awkward and weird and out of touch. I think they were talking about her comedic timing on the show. She's on some type of tour with Cedric the Entertainer, trying to be funny, and it's landing flat. Okay, at least that's what the sisters say, honey. Okay, the sisters is just like, Toni, just stand there, look beautiful, and sing. And girl, don't try to be funny, right? Therefore, those born on this day should be wary of most psychic and occult activities. Those ruled by the number 7 typically enjoy change and travel. This complements the October 7th desire to realize fantasy. We're going to look at her tarot really quickly. Okay, the 7th card of the major arcana is the Chariot, which depicts a triumphant man moving through the world, manifesting his physical presence in a dynamic way. The card may be interpreted to mean that no matter how narrow or precarious the correct path, one must continue on. The good side of this card posits success, talent, and efficiency. The bad side suggests a dictatorial attitude and a poor sense of direction. So she has the tendency to do the it's my way or the highway. If she becomes challenged or put in a box or having to do too many things with her sister. I think that they all wanted a book to come out together, and I think she ended up doing, ooh, child, that's Miss Robinson's belly growling, honey. Okay, girl, calm down. You having that pork chop sandwich later, so calm down. Listen. But, yeah. Okay, so let's look at her health, since she does have some health issues. Those born on October 7th may have difficulty functioning well day to day over the long haul. This can be due to frustration or hidden anger that can ultimately produce anxiety and depression. October 7th people must be particularly careful of feeling threatened and lashing out in a preventative strike. A kind of get them before they get me attitude. Stable patterns of diet and sleep, of course, can have a calming effect and should be given top priority. October 7th people should also avoid overly yang or yin foods like red meat on the one hand and sugar on the other. Moderate physical exercise is recommended. The meditation, like a baby, the conscious mind must sometimes be put to sleep during waking hours. So that was Toni Braxton's birthday. So let's move on to my second favorite, would be Miss Tay-Tay. Tay-Tay is off the hook. So Tamar Braxton was born March 17th, 1977. Let's look at her traits. So she's a Pisces. So her positive traits as a Pisces is she has empathy and compassion for people, creative, intuitive, generous, sensitive. Her negative traits as a Pisces, escapism. They might sometimes avoid reality and retreat into their own world. Laziness. Pisces can be prone to procrastination and may struggle with motivation. And overly emotional. We have seen her outbursts on social media, having to put that white man out there, child. And then you look foolish, Tamar, because you're on the Carlos King interview saying, y'all just want me to hate that white man. And it's like, girl, he's out here dating women and sleeping with them. Yo, ops, that's not a good look. Like, girl, and it's funny because I just saw a clip yesterday of Vince talking to Tamar. And to me, Vince was able to get through to Tamar more than any of her other romantic companions. He had like patience with her. And he had a way of telling her, like, girl, calm down. You're being childish. You need to go about this in more of a practical way. I think I saw the clip where he was telling her, you're not Lady Gaga. You're not getting on Gaga's project. Gaga is in her own lane. You need to discover your own lane. And, so like watching old clips of Tamar and Vince, I just feel like he was more like for her. But now Tamar got her own money. There's no purpose for Vince. I think Vince was a soft place to land when the family was having money issues. Y'all know TONI has had, I think, several bankruptcies. And then she is, the provider of the family as far as money, providing jobs. I think, do TRINA still have her restaurants? I know she has some type of restaurant, and I know I see her and her husband, they're on YouTube. I see Towanda has had a bankruptcy, and she owes a lot of money, right? And she used to be Tony's assistant. So, yeah, Tamar didn't really have, like, the issues that the other ones had. She wasn't just depending on Tony. And that takes me to when Tamar and Toni were talking, and Toni was just like, yeah, Tamar never charges me for a show. And, TRINA does. And a lot of people was like, well, TRINA got her own kids and family. And Toni was complaining, about paying the mother's bills. Because I think it was mainly her and Tamar covering everything. That's when Tamar was over there with Vince. I heard that, Towanda still owe Tamar money. It's crazy. But let's go to her book. So March 17th, the day of the aerialist, her strengths: adaptable, expressive, enthusiastic. I think we can all see all of that with Tamar, right? Weaknesses: self-effacing. I wanted to pull that particular word up because that's not a word that I use a lot, and it basically means not producing any desired effect. And no, it isn't. I'm sorry. That's the ineffectual. My bad. So she's ineffectual. So that is not producing any desired effect. That's all them damn rants for like no reason, Let's go to the self-effacing. That's the one. Not claiming attention for oneself, retiring, and modest. Okay, so just kind of willing to, and that's weird with Tamar, right? But just kind of willing to be in the background. It looked like I don't know. It says the synonyms to it is fearful, apprehensive, trembling, weakened, afraid. So, yeah. And maybe Tamar feels like that. I noticed with her career, she's not that confident in it. And maybe it's because the business keeps switching up, right? Disconnected, right? That's another one of her weaknesses. And she's disconnected, from this family. But I kind of feel like she wants to be. And then this whole thing with, she didn't know that TRACI was sick. She wasn't coming around the family at that time. So, she wasn't staying in touch, with the family like that. I think that Tamar feels like the family is troubled and they're not gonna be able to give her what she wants and what she needs. I think she loves them dearly. I really do. I think she really cares for her sisters, but it's like, y'all just don't get it. And I'm sick of asking for it. I'm sick of explaining it. Okay. So it says, those born on March 17th live exciting lives taken up with the recurring themes of flying, floating, music, there it is, dance, movement, and travel of all sorts. They are quite capable of losing themselves in an activity, cause, or experience, relinquishing many demands of their ego in the process. Highly evolved individuals born on this day are able to engage in such activities while at the same time expressing a strong sense of self. Less highly evolved individuals tend to be overly self-effacing or passive. So there's that word. Unable to direct their lives effectively. What that takes me to is, like, back in the day, she wasn't ready to be like a star the way TONI was. So she needed that group with TRINA and TOWANDA, right? Even with her introduction into the music business, it wasn't really just through Vince, because she had another project that it really didn't go anywhere. And I think after a while, you keep putting out, you know, albums and songs and they don't really hit. You're like, damn, am I meant to do this? But that's why Vince looked so appealing to her. It wasn't him, I don't think. And some women, you know, they like big guys. So this isn't to dog big guys out. And I kind of like Vince. I don't like the abusive part that I heard from Miss E, that, you know, he allegedly was laying hands on Tamar. Totally against that. Don't like that if that's true. But I liked Vince as far as, like, we even saw a scene on this show where he's pouring into her. Girl, you got a hot single. It's #1. You're doing good. He's pouring into her. This is her child's father. Okay? So it's just like he was very crucial in getting her music career, like, back in motion. And he's still, like, really supportive of her, and that's really cool. March 17th people are never happier than when they are involved in a cause, particularly one which allows them to express their social side. Without such social involvement, March 17th people have a tendency to become isolated. If they spend too much time alone, they can wrap themselves in a kind of personal cocoon, completely insulated from the cares and concerns of the world. At some point, March 17th people must emerge from their social or personal chrysalis as fully developed butterflies, unafraid to display their uniqueness and beauty. The metaphor of the butterfly may be useful here to illustrate several other relevant points. March 17th people must learn to pursue activities with concentrated application rather than flitting from one flower to the next. In addition, they may have to toughen their stance in order to guarantee that their projects, as well as their identity and reputation, last well beyond one short season. March 17th people tend to value all which is fresh and new in the world. Many born on this day tire quickly of old conventions and outdated ideas, wishing to implement new methods with youthful innocence and vigor. Unfortunately, they can run afoul of fate and also more highly seasoned realists, who, though cynical or jaded, may have a much firmer grip on the reins of power. The most highly evolved individuals born on this day manage to retain their optimism and energy while at the same time becoming more realistic and effective in implementing their plans. Okay, so it also says March 17th people become adept at eluding those who wish to ground them. Avoidance can quickly become a device they use to defend those positions they maintain that do not stand up under close scrutiny. If they wish to be successful, March 17th people must learn to be more thorough and considered and indulge less in the mutable, less serious aspects of their nature. And that takes me to all this shit with her relationships on social media. It shouldn't be playing out on social media, Tamar, but I think because there is some type of insecurity with the music, she feels like if I stay out here and if I'm on social media and my drama plays out, that will get me sales, okay? That's gonna get me some sales. People will, pay attention to me. Tamar is not stupid. She knows that drama sells, right? It also says, for a period of time, their associates, family, and friends can be enchanted by their gyrations, but will finally demand that those born on this day come to earth and shoulder their share of mundane concerns with all of the attendant difficulties and annoyances. So to me, it seems like, and she's a Pisces, so they like to escape and get away from the mundane. You also heard she likes new things, new experiences, and, she likes to, instill a youthful presence in anything she's involved in. And Tamar actually comes off younger, so she's the youngest, the baby of the family, but her demeanor comes off young. So through such grounded activities, March 17th people can effectively contribute to their life around them, bringing their freshness and creativity to bear. Okay, the advice the book gives to her: ground yourself in experience without losing your enthusiasm. Partake more in the practical areas of life. Tend to daily tasks and learn from them. Become more consequent in your endeavors and don't make changes so readily. So she's impulsive. Okay? Very impulsive. Numbers and planets, 1 + 7 = 8. The number 8 suggests a conflict between the material and spiritual worlds. Those ruled by this number can be lonely and prone to indulging in excess. So drinking, sex, those type of activities. Okay, so next we got TRACI Braxton. She was born on April the 2nd, 1971. So that makes her an Aries. Okay, so Aries women, they are like warriors. They're dynamic, bold, strong personalities, willful, stubborn, determined, headstrong, devoted, intelligent, confident, opinionated. Those are Aries women. Her strengths are, she is honest, sincere, hardworking. Yeah, I get that from TRACI. TRACI was the most down to earth of the sisters. I remember when I first started watching the show, I was like, this is Toni Braxton's sister. She was just so different from the other ones, but more in a I could kick it with TRACI. Me and TRACI could go to the bar, to the club. She just seemed like that girl next door. And that is how a lot of, I used to have a best friend that was an Aries, April the 4th, so yeah, you can hang out with them. And one thing with Aries, I realize, is these people can be up with you all night, because I remember my former friend was like that. They would be up with you all night, kicking it, clowning, and then, honey, they'll go to church. Ain't no taking no nap and taking some time to rest. It's just, I'm up for church and, So, yeah. Very social, Aries. It says her weaknesses, naive. So, we know what naive means. Easily fooled. Repressed. That means restraining or preventing the expression of feelings or emotion. So that word right there, I think, sums up how she felt with her sister. She felt like the odd man out. I remember they had her as the wannabe. I forgot the other girls' names, but I'll never forget that. And I'm like, why the hell is she the wannabe? But remember, she was the one that did not join the group. because remember, she got pregnant. And back in those days, it wasn't, they didn't glorify being pregnant. It was the end of the world, and. And then I saw a video where TRACI was complaining about TRINA, and TRINA got her baby, and then once I had, they was trying to make me get rid of mine for this contract, and I wasn't willing to do that. So she made the ultimate sacrifice, and I think even though she loves her son, I think it was a lot of hell to pay with that decision from the music business and her sisters. So I'm going to read something from TRACI. Truth be told, yes, I wanted to perform with my sisters when they were in the group The Braxtons. I wanted to be with my sisters on the road touring. However, I opted out on that to become a mother to my wonderful son, who is now 18. And this comes from a 2014 interview for The Hype. I really don't like what the sisters are doing with her husband and the son. There was some recent audio out where the father was going off on the son, and it's just like, why is this audio put out here now? Now, I don't agree with what he was saying in the audio. It seemed like he was like blaming the son for the mother's death and like all of that, and we know that it wasn't the son's fault that she passed away, but it was really weird that that bit of info was put out there now. It's just been like team too much, and I feel like at the end of the day, TRACI loved her husband, and I feel like they still need to respect that that's little Kevin's father. And not try to create any type of drama between the two of them. That's not what you should be doing. If anything, I think TRACI would have wanted all of y'all to come together to remember her. And if the sisters don't want to deal with him, okay, don't deal with him. I still don't understand like their beef with him. But I don't trust them. It's something about how they are moving that is just very suspect to me. It's just very, I don't know. It seemed like they are insistent upon making the husband look really bad. And, I don't know. I don't like, how it's affecting TRACI's son. Cause I just feel like TRACI wouldn't have wanted that. And to really honor somebody, you need to like be fair to their family, be fair to her husband. No, she didn't leave, all her money and assets and stuff to him. She left it to the son, right? Her estate. But, still be fair and neutral with the husband. There is this, I don't know, trying to erase him for some reason. Put it in the comments if you know more. So her birthday, the day of the idealist. Those born on April 2nd are extremely idealistic on their approach to life. Largely because of this characteristic, they may have problems getting to where they want to go in their careers. They sometimes have a naive view of the world embraced by their childlike nature. So she's an Aries. Aries is very childlike. Does not always complement a hard driving urge to succeed. Only after finding their purpose in life, accepting the limitations of their capabilities, perhaps even reconciling themselves to a lower station, are they able to utilize their considerable energy to the fullest. I think TRACI, like embracing her husband and her son, didn't she want to open up a beauty salon? Like she was a bit different from the rest of the sisters. There was at one point it seemed like everybody was like singing but her, but it seemed like she ended up creating like her own project and really got to accomplish her goals, right? People on April 2nd are usually family oriented, particularly men. For such April 2nd men, Their home is their castle. Their family is their court. This can create problems from time to time, particularly if one of his children does not feel comfortable in the role of a subject. April 2nd people are forever talking about their ideals, dreams, and visions. It often takes tremendous patience on the parts of those around them to handle their idealism, particularly colleagues who are much more pragmatic and regard such thinking as being of the fairy tale variety. April 2nd people can exist mentally in another world. Their honesty and single-mindedness often cause others to misunderstand them and their motives. Due to their purity of vision, those born on this day often find it difficult to compromise and regard a lack of understanding or agreement from a fellow worker as betrayal. Often well loved by others, April 2nd people must be careful not to drive friends to distraction with their ideas. They must learn to compromise, something mostly foreign to them. They too often see the world in black and white terms, an alienating stance, but because they are so human and so uncalculating, open and given, they will be quickly forgiven their anger and minor day-to-day emotional difficulties. In addition, they often espouse the cause of the underdog. Okay, it says that in here. She was the underdog. Or the downtrodden, which can earn them the animosity of the powerful, but also friends and admirers. Okay? The emotions of others often bewilder April 2nd people who sometimes need to run up against crisis, difficulties, even disasters to be able to recognize similar emotions in themselves. Those born on this day can be oblivious to what others think of them. Consequently, it may be a long time before they come to realize that not everyone appreciates their extreme, albeit pure viewpoints. I get her sisters. They didn't understand how to accept her. And I don't think it was just she didn't get to sing with them. I think she was just different, period, in her approach to life, in her approach to marriage, even with her approach to raising her son. She was just very different than them. If branded as troublemakers, they may take the resulting decisions made against them rather hard. I also remember that time TRACI cussed TAMAR's ass out. I was here for it too. I was like, get her ass. She been running amok. The mother just let her run amok. But TRACI cussed her ass out. She cussed Tawanda's ass out. I was here for that. Called her ass a snake. A snake in the grass. TRACI didn't play. Aries, right? Temper. Don't take no shit from nobody. So yes, I love that about TRACI. Because sometimes the rest of them play the role of, oh, we'll just sweep it under the rug, or we'll just talk behind the person's back. TRACI will tell your ass to your face, it's going down. This is how it is, okay? All right, so let's look at the advice the book has for her. Force yourself to be realistic. Don't live in a dream world. Idealism is admirable. So she was a dreamer of how she wanted things to be. But it doesn't pay the bills, okay? It doesn't pay the bills to just dream. You have to choose something practical and pragmatic for you to do. And I think she got more closer to that as she got older and before her death. And I really do love TRACI's part on Can You Stay with Candace Dillard. Y'all know I love Candace, but when I tell you TRACI killed it. She killed it. And to me, TONI, TAMAR, and TRACI are the best singers in the family, in my opinion, right? I think TRINA had a little rock band or something. Towanda sings too. They all sound good, but yeah, those are my top three. Listen to others, even when they voice negativity. Their criticism may be valuable if you give it thought. So, the book is basically telling her don't be so quick to shut people out and not hear what they have to say. Y'all know how you Aries, honey, can get, okay? Okay, so the tarot, it says the second card of the major arcana is the priestess, shown seated on her throne, calm and, honey, I can't pronounce that word, so I'll just tell you what it means. Basically, impossible to pass through or enter, okay? She is a spiritual woman who reveals hidden forces and secrets, empowering us with that knowledge. Favorable qualities of this card are silence, intuition, reserve, and discretion. Negative values are secretiveness, mistrust, indifference, and inertia. Her meditation: by keeping alive to what is happening, we live in the present. And her birthday was the day of the idealist. I love that. So next we got TRINA Braxton, who was born December 3rd, 1974. I had a brother that was born December 4th. And he was a damn headache. So hopefully, TRINA, you are not a headache like him. And he probably listening. Look, as we got Molly, wouldn't that just be the thing? The day of ingenuity. She's a Sagittarius. Let's look at the Sagittarius woman really quick. Sagittarius women are progressive, restless in spirit, eager to get on with the business of living. Independence is her guiding principle. She is happiest discovering new ideas, exploring the distant places, and not getting tied down with personal commitment. So why are you married, TRINA? She enjoys life and tries to make sure everyone around her enjoys it as well. The Sagittarius woman is feisty and fearless and will always speak her mind. She is the most vibrant of all of the fire signs. Okay, so it says her strengths: concentrated, innovative, craftsmanlike. Weaknesses: secretive, strange, unapproachable. The advice the book gives to her: show more interest in yourself and your personal development. Sometimes delegate responsibilities to others without worrying. Be aware of becoming too reclusive. Maintain contact to the world and help those around you. And so right now, TRINA is over there doing all that drinking and eating. But when I first heard that she was engaging in all of that, I'm like, you got a man. What part is he helping with that? The Braxton women are a bit weird to me, because it's like, why do y'all have men if they are not properly utilized? He should be helping you through, mourning your sister. But I have to agree with some of the opinions of other people that have spoken out on TRINA. TRINA, you had issues with drinking and your weight before TRACI died. You did. You always was the party girl. That was your thing. Yeah, so it's just like I don't know. I feel like all of them are just using certain things to just... It's like they're making excuses for how they have dealt with TRACI's death, but this has always been you. Really, always was out there. Didn't she get a DUI or something on the show? She was out here drinking, clowning, acting a fool. It says, those born on December 3rd let very little stand in the way of realizing their visions. Ingenuous in carrying out their plans, they may be as secretive or manipulative as they need to be to get to where they want to go. Yet this is not per se a great personal ambition. Those born on this day rather are more interested in their creations. I'm going to say this, her birthday is to the point. It's kind of like, what's that lady I just did? Kim Porter's. I don't know if it's a Sagittarius thing, but it's very like brief. It's not like all these paragraphs. Okay, so are more interested in their creations, jobs, or hobbies themselves than they are in gaining fame or power for its own sake. So, and Trina, she went back and did she get her master's or something? Like, she's educated and she has her own business. And she was on Sister Circle. Perhaps to some family members' dismay, December 3rd people may not be overly concerned with making a financial success of themselves. So, that kind of take me back to in the beginning, she didn't have money like that to help out with their mother. And I think that that's what TONI and TAMAR wanted her to do. But, she just didn't have it. And she just wasn't ambitious like that. I think she was ambitious maybe in other ways, because she did start that damn restaurant. What the hell is the name of the damn restaurant? I'm gonna have to look it up. But yeah, I like that restaurant that she came out with. What was it, a bar chicks or something? Both, and yeah, you created a damn bar, Trina, because you like to drink. Shit, so girl, yeah. Both craftsman-like and creative gifts are the legacy of December 3rd people. Often technically oriented, they may in fact qualify as perfectionists, yet frequently enough they are able to strike a common chord in their fellow human beings who, respecting their dedication and single-mindedness, will often take the trouble to show interest in what they are doing. Such interest is not essential to those born on this day, who are quite able to continue working without the need for constant approval from others, and actually may even prefer being left alone. In fact, those born on this day require a high degree of privacy and at certain crucial junctures in their lives may need to withdraw completely from the world. During such periods, which usually come after age of 30, they may even come to be known as recluses. So that means she likes to seclude herself from the world, like being away from everybody. It is almost as if they can only achieve their maximum concentration by being alone and able to plug into some higher source. And I'm kind of like that too. So, honey, I see you, Trina. Indeed, their accomplishments sometimes seem inexplicable without benefit of a higher power of inspirational force which acted as a guide. This is not to say, however, the December 3rd people are particularly devotional or religious people. On the contrary, they tend to be highly rationalistic, perhaps even a bit cynical. One danger for December 3rd people is that they will get so caught up in their work that they will neglect their personal development. Indeed, personalities, their own or others, may not be of the greatest interest to them. Basically, in their minds, they have been given certain mental tools, talents, and physical abilities to walk with, and that's it. But hopefully sooner or later they will see the wisdom in getting to know themselves at a deeper level, searching and probing themselves with the same intensity they give their work. If they do take this step, the quality of their work can become more universally human and less specific or technical. Let's look at her numbers and planets. Those ruled by the number 3 love their independence and thus do well in business for themselves or working as freelancers. That takes me to her business that she started. What was it? Bar Chicks? Her tarot is the Empress, symbolizing creative intelligence. This card represents positive traits of charm, grace, and unconditional love, but also negative traits of vanity and affection, as well as intolerance for imperfection. Her meditation: if one burrows deep enough, one may come out on the other side. Okay, so Towanda Braxton, her birthday is September 18th, 1973. Makes her a Virgo. So Virgo, her positive traits as a Virgo: reliable, logical, observant, patient, kind, analytical, hard worker, faithful, modest, helpful, intelligent. Negative: excessive worrying, neurotic, judgmental, pessimistic, aloof, hypocritical. I think a lot of people will look at that. She has a tendency to ruminate. I'm kind of disappointed in Towanda on this show. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like Towanda probably feels like she doesn't have purpose in her life. And I don't know. Maybe the family is used as like a soft place to land. And then I'm confused. Like, do you have the damn, what is that? She got what Jada Pinkett got. She got alopecia, and then it's like 1 minute I heard she had alopecia, the next minute it seemed like maybe she cut her hair or it was already falling out, and then she wanted to be in solidarity with TRACI losing her hair. It's like I don't know what's true for Towanda. I don't know where the cookie crumbles, how it's gonna crumble. I'm confused with Towanda. But anyways, her birthday is the day of internal mystery, strength, thoughtful, serious, aesthetic, weakness, isolated. You know what I keep hearing with all these damn sisters is all of them isolate. Okay, troubled, negative. The advice the book has for her: learn to be more perseverant. Conflict is sometimes necessary. Try to understand that what your body is telling you. Don't ignore physical symptoms. Your mysterious nature may be keeping out the light. Brighten up. So this is somebody that keeps a lot of stuff inside. Look like she's letting it all out. Another thing I noticed with her birthday is it's kind of short and to the point too. So let's hurry up and get to it, honey. Those born on September 18th are very private, even secretive people who, for one reason or another, often find themselves in very public careers. Their world is a highly personal one, to which entrance is not granted easily. They can be depended on, but perhaps not forever, because with great finality and suddenness, they are capable of closing the door on a friendship or love relationship. Thus, they may be dangerous people to get involved with unless their partners are prepared for their changes of heart. Those born on this day are capable of attaining tremendous success, but they can equally be hounded by repeated failure and plain bad luck. The theme of beauty is central to their lives. They are highly sensitive to any kind of strife, violence, or bitter competition, which they would just as soon avoid. The fact is that September 18th people are not capable of handling a lot of stress, despite their often imposing or attractive appearance, may also not be blessed with the highest degree of self-confidence. She wearing that bald head though, I give her that. I feel like she's came into herself a bit more. I feel like in the past it seemed like she didn't want people to really like see how she gets down, but it's like we really see it now that, like, I think we saw some of this, when TRACI was alive and was calling her a snake in the grass, but we're seeing a lot of stuff now. I don't like the part she's playing with pitting the father and the son against each other. Like I said, I don't think that that's what TRACI would have wanted, and she needs to keep in mind, like, being fair to TRACI's legacy. Like, some of the stuff they're doing, I think that it would hurt TRACI. So when they say, oh, we're doing this for TRACI, it's like, I don't think so. It looked more selfish, like you doing it for self. You're doing it so more people can take a look at you or maybe talk about you. Because out of all the sisters, TONI got her lane, even crazy ass, childish ass Tamar got her own lane. TRINA got her own lane. Went back to school, got her business. It's like, what is Towanda doing? Wasn't she was on that show with Iyanla Vanzant, Starting Over. Y'all remember that? I remember that. That was back when I had just graduated high school. I used to watch that show. She was the actress. What happened to like all of that stuff? Like, what happened with Towanda? It seems like she has a lot to say, but it's like she tries to hide under some of her sisters. Like, for instance, she used to like be in TONI's shadow. She was the assistant. And that's cool to be, your sister's assistant. And then she was in that marriage with that man that just wasn't about shit. And you need to get your ass about my inbox, Andre. I'm not buying your damn book. So get out of my inbox. Get him, Towanda. I was like, is this shit real? Why is this nigga in my inbox? I can't help you. Shit. Last time I seen Andre on the damn show, he was selling some book that Towanda didn't want to hear about. They used to tickle me, honey. Okay? Tickle me. But yeah, it's like, and I used to like Towanda. She seemed to like be sophisticated and, just have her own little way of being like mature. She seemed to be like the opposite of a Tamar, but now I don't know. It's like, are your hands clean? You need to wash your damn hands. Cause they coming up dirty, Towanda. You doing all this sneaky stuff that your sister, I just really don't think she would approve of. It's like you're being selfish with the reason that you're doing certain things. September, okay, let's get back. Okay, so when September 18th people are faced with complex problems, however, they respond to the challenge well, because basically they enjoy figuring things out. They really do want to understand in order to do what they often sequester or isolate themselves, there's that word again, from the world so that they can conduct their internal investigations in private. Thoughtful, ruminative, and deep people, they take life very seriously, perhaps too seriously. Most September 18th people have a special relationship with worship or belief, whether realized in personal development, artistic expression, or social interaction. Because of their devotional nature, they do well with studies and lifestyles which demand unbroken concentration and attention, as well as submerging of their own ego. The suppression of their affect can create emotional difficulties, but may also produce an air of mystery about them that makes them highly attractive. One must know when to approach those born on September 18th and when to leave them alone. More than with most other people, success in a relationship with them will depend on a mate's ability to be sensitive to the timing. September 18th people are often found far from their original home, either geographically or emotionally, and some born on this day prefer not to be reminded of their past. In general, they leave what is past behind them, rarely reopen a closed issue or failed relationship. Okay, the tarot is the major arcana is the moon. The positive attributes is sensitivity, empathy, emotional understanding. Negative qualities include emotional malleability, passivity, lack of ego. Okay, so the advice the book gives her: learn to be more perseverant. Conflict is sometimes necessary. Try to understand what your body is telling you. Don't ignore physical symptoms. Your mysterious nature may be keeping out the light. Brighten up. I think I already read that, but now y'all know. Let's get to y'all crazy ass, mammy. Oh, really quickly about Towanda. It says September 18th people have to be aware of flare-ups of temper and also rejecting others abruptly. Yes, and that's what I see with her sister's husband. It's a lot of that going on. It's just nope. Their ability to control these impulses and harness their positive Mars, Mercury, energetic mental qualities can only yield positive results. Okay, let's get to your crazy ass mammy. Last but not least, Miss Evelyn, honey. Miss Evelyn, Miss Capricorn. Miss, I'ma tell you how to live your life. Okay? I'ma tell you how to live your life. Strengths. Let's look at the strengths. January 14th, 1948. She's 76 years old. Capricorn. Let's look at Capricorn women. So Capricorn women are practical, disciplined, and incredibly self-controlled. They are known to be workaholics. Capricorn women are ruled by Saturn, the planet of karma. They can be a bit materialistic or attach their identity to their worldly possessions to create a sense of security. Capricorn women are often misunderstood due to their tough personalities. They are direct, sincere, honest. Capricorn women are independent and natural leaders. Her strengths: indomitable, courageous, organized. Weaknesses: emotionally hard, uncompromising. The advice the book has for her: honor and dishonor are not just your personal province. Be aware of social values and the feelings of others. Learn to compromise. No injury or injustice is cause enough to harden your heart. Allow for your own weakness and vulnerability. And that speaks to her relationship with her daughters, the situation with the husband cheating, having the affair. It took her a lot of years to get over that. She still may be hanging on to that. There still may be some sort of bitterness that happened. Capricorn women are very proud, and they don't like to look bad. So when he embarrassed her by having that affair, it was almost as if she never could get over it. But the daughters ended up paying for his mistakes or what he wanted to do. Because I'm not convinced that these men cheating is a mistake. They do it because they want to and because they can, right? So it's kind of like the daughters have had to play out the karma of how she feels about their father. And it looked like she has put that in them. Like, don't trust men. Yeah, you can, you could do this and do that, but don't trust them. You see a lot of their relationships are rocky. A lot of them are not making it down the aisle. You got Towanda. She says she ain't pressuring the man. I don't think you should pressure anybody to marry you, but it don't look like he's going to do it. We see the marriage that Trina is in. She's in a burning house by herself, no support. He's jealous of a dead man, of, like how she feels about Gabe. It's like he should be supportive, kind, and nurturing. Everybody liked Vaughn when he first got with Trina, and it's like now that he done been with her for some time, it's like now people kind of really seeing him, and I don't think the people feeling him. But it's for Trina to feel him, right? And we want our girl Trina to be happy, right? I always like Trina. Okay, this is about Mama Braxton though. My mother's birthday is very close to this lady's birthday. And I see some of the same characteristics. So this lady, it does not have it on here, but this lady is controlling. And when you're dealing with a controlling person, they don't care about how you feel about anything. Everything is about telling you what you should do, how you should feel. I used to call my mother and she would just tell me what to do. It wasn't, well, what do you think you should do? Or what about doing this or suggesting? It was just, you just do this because I told you to, because I said so. One of them types, right? It also mentioned that allow for your own weakness and vulnerability. This is not somebody that is showing that they are vulnerable, how they feel about stuff. Even with Tracy's passing, she's very kind of matter of fact about it. And I'm not at all saying she didn't care about her daughter, but there's like no warmth there. Maybe I know it's hard for people to lose a child, the child goes before them. So maybe there's some struggles with that. But I don't know. The mother is just very like cut and dry, and Mama Braxton represents a lot of Black mothers that are just very hard on their children. not allowing the children to see you cry, to see you, fall down and get up, and like, she just wants people to like see her like winning. And god darn it, what is that saying that she say, laying it I forgot the little saying, spreading it wide and laying it low or whatever. That was funny. It's something else that she says that is so funny to me. But yeah, like, she represents a lot of like black mothers out there, tough on the outside, in survival mode. I don't know, why does she keep having all these damn kids? I couldn't imagine all of that shit. I thought I was about to die with the one shit. Okay, but 6 kids? What was it? Damn, just a lot. You got a boy too. The hardy individuals born on January 14th are engaged in coordinating and integrating the many faceted aspects of their life and work, and her day is the day of the integrator. I thought it was going to be the integrator, but no, integrator. Their ability to see the whole picture in a thorough, organic way distinguishes them from those who get hung up on details. January 14th people are able to forcefully pull together the strands of life and weave from them a meaningful fabric. They do not hesitate to follow what they believe to be right course of action, even if they go against rules of society. Indeed, they are well aware of both possible rewards and repercussions for their actions. Danger seems to attract January 14th people who are not adverse to living on the edge. Rarely, however, do they seek out excitement to merely stimulate themselves. It seems more like a byproduct of their intense involvement with their cause. For some January 14th people, perilous situations offer a chance to win out over great odds or die trying. Most January 14th people have an awareness of their power, but nevertheless repeatedly test it against resistance, obstacles, and anything or anyone that would frustrate them. Those born on this day are surely dominant types, but usually not interested in being rulers per se. Although they have marked leadership ability, a talent may remain dormant in them if they consider the responsibilities of high ranking. It also says January 14th people are almost incapable of changing their mind once it's made up. They can be hard-headed to the point of being made of stone, especially where their emotions or sentiments are concerned. That takes me to, putting all that pressure on TONI, when she made it into the music business. Don't forget about your sisters, and making her feel guilty about being in the music business, and just all the religion, and, not accepting your children for who and what they are, and for what they want to be. I think she saw these sisters as too much of this family is not close. They are enmeshed. Okay? There's no boundaries. And there's no trust. That's why all of them have a tendency to isolate away from the family, because there's really no trust. It looked like there is, but there isn't. It also says, inevitably, it seems January 14th people are caught up with social and universal issues. Their personal lives, therefore, can be difficult and stormy. Mates, family, and friends must be extremely faithful, as well as understanding if they are to stick with January 14th people. Well, that husband was not faithful through thick and thin. To make matters worse, those born on this day, unfortunately, quite capable of ignoring and neglecting those close to them when they are engaged in a heated life battle. Those born on January 14th may find themselves in grave difficulty if they lose everything on a big campaign or gamble, and upon turning for help discover they stand alone. They should spend more energy on personal and social matters if they wish to retain the support of others. Learning the wisdom of sharing in many areas of life and of give and take is crucial to them, if only from a pragmatic rather than altruistic point of view. Okay. Wow, her meditation. It says, in chess, small moves pave the way for big ones. Okay, so let's look at her numbers and planets. Okay, she is ruled by the number 5. 1 plus 4 is 5, because she was born on the 14th. January 14th, people who get knocked off balance. The number 5 fortunately bestows a resilient character which recovers quickly from the hard knocks of life. And her tarot, the major arcana is Temperance, and the positive traits of this card is the angel modifies passions in order to allow for new truths to be learned and incorporated in one's life. And the Temperance card urges January 14th people to establish their own ethical code and resist those seductive temptations that would lead them toward false behavior for personal gain. So don't be out here selling your soul, Miss E, for personal gain. Don't try to sell that cootie cat either, girl. Okay? Be stingy with the cootie cat. Shout out to Jocelyn, honey. Y'all remember that song, Stingy with the Cootie Cat? I love that. But yeah, that was her birthday, you guys. This has been long enough, but thank you for hanging in there. And I will check you guys out in the next video.